Every generation has asked the question, is this the end? Wars break out, nature shakes, nations rise and fall, people cry out for peace, and yet chaos grows louder. But the Bible tells us something important. There will come a time when the signs of the times speak louder than ever before, when they tell us, the end of all things is at hand. This isn't just a warning, it's an invitation to live differently, to live awake, not asleep, to live with hope, not fear. And to understand this, we need to look at the story written across history and into our world today. Imagine a world constantly moving, always rushing. That's our world. But it was also the world in Jesus' day and even before. People worked, married, built homes, traded goods, chased dreams. And yet, under the surface, something bigger was happening. God's story was unfolding. The prophets spoke of days when the earth itself would give signals, like birth pains before something new. The signs of the times are not random events. They are whispers, and sometimes shouts, that history is not aimless, it's heading somewhere. The Bible gives us a glimpse. In Noah's time, people lived as if tomorrow would never change. They celebrated, worked, mocked righteousness, all while the storm clouds gathered. Noah warned them. The ark was being built, a massive sign standing right before their eyes. But most people didn't see it. They were too busy, too distracted. And then, the rain came. Jesus said, "As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man." It's a reminder, the signs were there, but not everyone wanted to notice. When Jesus sat with his disciples on the Mount of Olives, they asked the question we all wonder, what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered, not with one sign, but with many. Wars and rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, famines, earthquakes, false prophets, love growing cold. But then he added something important. When you see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Not one sign by itself, but all of them together, like puzzle pieces forming a picture. Through history, people have seen signs. Great earthquakes shook cities. Strange events lit up the skies. The world trembled under wars and plagues, and believers read these moments not as accidents, but as reminders, markers in the story, echoes of Jesus' words, the end of all things is at hand. And today, look around. The earth groans under natural disasters. Nations rise against nations. Violence fills our headlines. Technology connects us but also isolates us. The love of many is growing cold. These are not just headlines, they are signs. Signs that the story is reaching its climax. But here's the key. The signs are not meant to scare us. They're meant to wake us up. When you see the leaves on a tree turn green, you know summer is near. In the same way, when we see the signs Jesus spoke of, we know his coming is near. It's not about panic. It's about preparation, not about fear, about faith. Think about this. If we truly believed the end of all things was near, how would we live? Would we waste our time on bitterness, greed, endless distraction? Or would we live with purpose, loving people, walking with God, ready for what's to come? Enoch walked with God in a corrupt world, and he was taken to heaven without seeing death. Noah built an ark even when everyone laughed. The disciples carried the gospel into a hostile world. And now, it's our turn. Yes, the signs tell us the end is near, but the end is not despair, it's hope. Because for the believer, the end is really the beginning, the end of sorrow, the end of corruption, the end of pain, and the beginning of life the way it was always meant to be. A new heaven, a new earth, a new story. The signs of the times are all around us. They tell us the story is almost complete. But the question isn't when. The question is, who will I be when it happens? Will I be distracted, or awake, cold, or faithful, lost in fear, or walking with hope? The end of all things is at hand. But for those who walk with God, it's not the end of life, it's the doorway to eternity. So walk with him today, step by step, choice by choice, because when the signs reach their final chapter, we'll want to be found walking with him.